Hey guys, OsirisKid here, and welcome to a LeagueStrategies instructional video on just about everything you need to know about League of Legends, or LOL for short. If I repeat myself, or I talk about things that seem obvious, I apologize in advance. This video is intended for beginner players who are just starting. If you have a friend who wants to play, this video will help them understand the basics. If you haven't heard of League of Legends, it's an incredibly popular free-to-play online game. It's also extremely fun to play once you learn some basics, all of which I'll be going over in this video. The basic idea of League of Legends is that a team of 5 players face off against a group of 5 enemy players. Everyone controls one unique champion each, leveling up, gaining new abilities, obtaining items, and getting stronger, all while trying to destroy the enemy base and defending your own. Every new game, you start from level 1, and each game can take as long as 20 minutes to 1 hour. As you kill small, continuously spawning AI monsters on the map, known as creeps, you collect gold and experience. Getting more gold will help you buy stronger equipment, and experience will help you level up and gain stronger abilities. The max level is 18, and you get there in about 20 to 40 minutes, depending on how well you play. LOL is a team-based game, so focus on killing enemy players as a group. Okay, so now that you know generally what the game is about, let's go over some more crucial basics. You move your champion and auto-attack by right-clicking. You use the items in your inventory with keys 1 through 6, and you control your champion's 4 abilities with Q, W, E, and R. The 4th ability, bound to R, is your ultimate, or ulti, which you obtain at level 6. This is usually the strongest move you have, and is the staple of your champion. Each champion also has what is called their passive, which are unique concepts to make champions even more different from one another. Some skills are more complicated than others. Just read them as soon as you're in-game by mousing over them. On the bottom left are your stats: attack damage, ability power, attack speed, run speed, armor, and magic resist. Press the C key to see more detailed stats. The only other basic controls you need to know are D and F. These are your 2 summoner spells. I'll go over these later. Press Tab to open your scoreboard, Enter to talk to teammates, Shift and Enter to talk to both teams. Let's take a look at the League of Legends client. Up top we have the play button, your avatar, summoner level, and your currency. Below those you have the store, your profile, League of Legends lore if you're into that kind of thing, and the help menu. On the top left, we have the home button to get back to the main screen, and on the bottom, we have your friends/ignore list, chat rooms, and notifications. Your summoner level is basically the level of your account. Depending on how long a game lasts and whether you won or lost, you'll get experience towards your summoner level. The max level is level 30. Leveling your account gives you more summoner spells, extra mastery points, and more rune slots. Summoner spells are 2 extra abilities on long cooldowns in addition to your champion's 4 abilities. You pick your summoner spells before the game starts, along with your champion. Read what each one does, and you can decide what you like. Runes just give small bonuses to your champion. There are so many different options for runes, including cooldown reduction, crit chance, and armor, but you shouldn't worry about these until you level your account past 20. You can permanently unlock champions and runes from the store if you have enough currency. But like I said, don't worry too much about buying runes right away. You'll eventually unlock stronger ones. If you want to look different, you can buy skins with real money. There's tons of awesome skins in League of Legends, all of different styles. Buying these skins doesn't offer any advantages. Riot Games is careful to maintain balance to LoL, so paying real money doesn't give you an edge. Take a look at the champions page inside your profile. A handful of different champions are free to play every week. You can learn about all the different types of champions and their abilities on this page. The more you understand the champions, the better player you become. Now take a look at your masteries. Masteries are just like talent trees in other games, and they give you a few bonus stats at the beginning of every game. The higher you level your account, the more points you can distribute. Masteries are split into 3 trees: offense, defense, and utility. You can spend these points however you like. They are not permanent, you can reset them for free, and create multiple preset pages of masteries. Now let's take a look at the spells page. Here you can check out all the summoner spells that need to be unlocked and what they do. So let's talk about champions again. There are lots of different types of champions, but they can all be broken down into 4 roles: tank, physical damage, magic damage, and support. Tanks are very durable champions who should prioritize building lots of health, armor, which reduces physical damage taken, and magic resist, which reduces magic damage taken. Tanks have very helpful abilities and should be played on the front lines, trying to take most of the damage from the enemy team. Every team should always have 1 tank champion. While playing a tank, you want to give kills to your damage-dealing allies. It's generally better that they get the killing blow than you, because the killing blow determines who gets the big chunk of gold. If the enemy team is physical damage heavy or magic damage heavy, consider getting armor or magic resist respectively. Physical damage and magic damage champions focus on dealing damage to their enemies. Pretty straightforward. You want to get as many kills as possible and avoid dying in most situations. The only time it's okay to die is if you take the enemy down with you. The stats that are important to these damage-dealing champions are attack damage for physical damage champions, and ability power for magic damage champions. There are other important stats, like lifesteal and crit for physical damage, and spell penetration for magic damage. Depending on how each champion is designed, certain stats are more important than others. Support champions are basically played by following another champion around and making their life easier. This includes champions with heal abilities, shield abilities, and helpful auras. Supports, like tanks, should not be getting killing blows unless no one else is around. It's important to note that support champions are usually AP based rather than AD. Tanks and supports will usually have more assists than anything else, because even if you touch an enemy player before they die, or heal an ally who kills somebody, you get an assist, which gives a smaller amount of gold than a killing blow, but is still a great source of income. A solid team composition is 1 tank and either 1 support and 3 damage, or 4 damage dealers, 2 physical damage and 2 magic damage. Never have only physical damage or only magic damage. The enemy team will counter you hard with armor or magic resist. Here are some examples of some more novice-friendly champions that you might want to try for your first time playing. Anyway, press play and let's start a game. As you can see, we have a couple of different choices. I've already talked about Classic. You try to destroy the enemy team's base in either a 5v5 or a 3v3 map. Dominion is a much faster-paced 5v5 King of the Hill style game. I mainly talk about 5v5 Summoner's Rift. You can choose to invite 4 friends to join you in the same game. Queues are usually very quick. You don't have to wait that long before getting into a game. LOL has a matchmaking system, so if you're a beginner, you'll have the best chance of being paired up against other beginners. So let's go ahead and start a classic 5v5 game. At the character screen, we can choose a champion, a couple of summoner spells, a rune page, and edit our mastery page. Now we're in game. Controlling your character, paying attention to everything on and off the screen, and controlling the camera actually does take a lot of practice. Some people lose track of their character. If you do, just press or hold spacebar. This will lock the camera above your champion. And other people might not even notice something that's happening right above them off their screen. It all takes getting used to. Now take a look at your map. The map is your best friend in League of Legends. Try to check it as much as possible. Being map aware is vital to your survival. Knowing where the enemies are at all times will help you tremendously. So let's check out the shop. There's a list of recommended items on the top, which is a good place to start understanding if your champion needs attack damage, ability power, or defensive items. On the left are different categories: defense, attack, magic, movement, and consumables. A very important item you should be trying to get early on in the game are boots. These greatly increase your movement speed. If an enemy player chases you and they have boots and you don't, you'll be in trouble. So avoid going into fights if you don't have boots yet. These basic boots will say 1 on them, which is their speed. They can get upgraded to a group of unique boots with 2 speed. Along with more speed are some other bonuses. For example, 25% attack speed. There's also other sets of boots that are meant purely for speed, without any stats. Boots of Swiftness, which are boots with 3 speed, and Boots of Mobility, which are boots with 5 speed when out of combat. Other very important items are located in the consumables category. Health and mana potions will keep you from coming back to the fountain to heal, losing precious experience. It's a good idea to pick up a few health potions whenever you're in base at the start of the game. They aren't as useful later on because they don't get any stronger later in the game. Another extremely useful item are wards. There are 2 different types of wards: sight wards and vision wards, both of which give you some sight on the field through the fog, but the vision ward will reveal any stealth targets that go near it. Having a ward set up can help you see an oncoming enemy and save you from being killed. 75 gold is a small price to pay for staying alive and being able to farm safely. Minions will spawn soon after joining a game, so buy something useful that you can afford, level up an ability, and head to a lane. Take a look at the map. There are 3 lanes: the top lane, the middle lane, and the bottom lane. And in between is the jungle, where difficult monsters spawn. Splitting the map in half is the river. On the other side of the river is your enemy's side of the map, so don't just go wandering across, unless you know where the enemies are. Usually, a team will split up. 1 person will go middle, 2 people will go bottom, and either 1 or 2 will go top, depending on if a teammate can survive in the jungle. Experience is split evenly between nearby allies, so somebody solo laning will level up faster than having 2 people together. As the creeps spawn, they run down each lane, run into the enemy's group of creeps, and are usually evenly matched. This is where you and your enemy will meet. Does this mean go after the enemy right away? Absolutely not. Both of you are incredibly weak at this point, so unless it's 2 of you against 1 of him, Stay safe behind your creep wave, and gain experience as nearby enemy creeps die. You should be trying to get the killing blow with your auto attacks. Doing this correctly will reward you with extra gold, and help you be able to afford items faster. If one of the creep waves die, the surviving wave will continue on, progressing to the enemy team's tower. If your creep wave dies, do not stand around. The enemy creeps will try to attack you, and they look small, but are very harmful in numbers. Just fall back and wait for your next friendly wave to take the hits. Let's say your creeps make it to the enemy defense turret. As you can see, turrets do massive damage. There are 2 rules about these turrets you should know. Number 1, do not go near them unless your creeps are already underneath. Number 2, do not attack enemies underneath the turret. The turret will stop attacking your creeps and start attacking you. You do not want to take hits from the turret. Eventually killing these turrets will grant you and your entire team a nice amount of gold. While you're laning, you'll notice some thick grass on the map. This is called the brush. Being inside of this will hide you from anything outside the same patch of grass. Always use caution when stepping inside blindly. There's always the possibility of enemies right there waiting for you. Let's say your enemy is missing from your lane. You should always let your teammates know by saying MIA from your lane. For example, bot MIA. This will let your team know to be careful and watch out for multiple enemies. If you're low on health or you want to buy more items, the only spot to heal or buy things is from the fountain in your base. But do you want to walk all the way back there from your lane? Of course not, so press the B key. This will teleport you back to base over a short duration. It doesn't cost anything, and it has no cooldown. But it can be interrupted by taking damage, so find a safe spot before using it. Now that we have a basic understanding of laning, we can talk more about the main objective, destroying the enemy's nexus. And the only way to do this is by pushing at least one of the 3 lanes all the way into their base. That's right, all 3 towers, the inhibitor, and the 2 nexus towers. This is only achievable by using teamwork. But wait, what's an inhibitor? Well, destroying an inhibitor is very important. When destroyed, your base will start spawning stronger creeps, and an additional super minion in the corresponding lane. This isn't permanent though. Inhibitors, unlike turrets, will respawn after a short period of time. One inhibitor needs to be destroyed before attacking the nexus and the 2 defending turrets. Now let's go over the last few things you need to know, like the jungle, the boss monsters, and some LOL lingo. Both teams have a similar jungle layout. Each side has many different camps of easy monsters and 2 difficult monsters. The 2 difficult monsters grant buffs after being killed. Right here is the blue buff. This buff is great for mages. It grants cooldown reduction and tons of mana regeneration. And over here is the red buff. This buff is great for physical damage champions. Every physical attack will apply a debuff on the target, slowing their movement speed and doing some damage over time. If you die to an enemy while holding one of these buffs, the duration will be reset and transferred to the enemy who killed you. The 2 boss monsters located on this map are just off the river. Here is the dragon boss. Killing dragon will grant your entire team a good chunk of gold and lots of experience to nearby teammates. The dragon will respawn shortly, and taking it from the enemy team will give your team a huge gold advantage. And this is Baron Nashor. He is the hardest monster in the game, and requires a team of players to take down. Killing Baron grants your entire team with lots of gold and a very powerful buff. Taking out Baron will provide a huge advantage over the enemy team. Remember though, your team and the enemy team will be competing to kill these bosses. So warding and attempting to steal the killing blow are very common. When playing League of Legends for the first time, people will most likely be using terms you may or may not have seen before. Here's a list of some commonly used terms and what they mean. That's all there is to know about the basics of League of Legends. Destroy your enemies and their base, defend your own, try not to die, work together as a team, and try learning about the game. Remember, practice makes perfect. If you have any other questions, leave a comment or message me in-game. Some helpful links, along with my account name, are in the description below. Thank you for watching my guide on how to play League of Legends. Don't forget to subscribe to LeagueStrategies for more guides and gameplay videos. And as always, good luck.